Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another small fighter. This one is a recreation of a ship that appeared in Avatar and is called the Samson SA-2, which is this lovely thing sitting right behind me. So this features 2 rocket launchers, 1 Gatling gun, a camera that moves on a hinge or a rotor even, so you can lift it up and down, and then we've got these lovely little propellers on the back there that will fold and tilt forwards when we take off and will automatically go back to where they are right now when you're sitting on the ground. This is all done via one push of the button, and I'll show you that a bit later. But what it does do, and what I'm going to point out right now, is it uses some fantastic use of the neon tubes over here on this section. It's just an absolutely fantastic idea. It's so simple even that, well, I really should have thought about that on some of my designs. But anyway, pulling away from there and pressing F10, find this in the spawn menu. The Samson is 979 small blocks, using the Warfare 2, Wasteland, Heavy Industry, Warfare 1 and Sparks of the Future DLC packs. We can see here there is a 1:1 scale of the SA-2 Samson from James Cameron's Avatar. Of course, PC limit, its block, its weight, its size, and a nice lot of information down below. So we'll simply give this thing a thumbs up, move around towards the very front, have a quick look around the outside, then we'll test it out. I'll show you how the propellers work at the back there. That was the wrong camera. Then maybe I'll try up against some space pirates. If not, I'll slam it into the ground, because they probably won't spawn on this planet. At the very front, this is what we get, the Samson SA-2, and it's a camera sitting on a rotor. To left and right of that, we've got a rocket launcher to blast your enemies with. Sitting in the middle, we've got a lovely glass cockpit that features 2 seats, then right behind there is a bunch of passenger seats to carry a few people along with you. If you were to move along on the side with the sunlight on it, that's all we can see. We've got some fantastic use of our neon tubes adding some decoration. We can see how a rocket launcher has been attached up with a couple of armoured panels, and that's a close-up of how it's been set up. If we were to move away from that and continue around onto the side, that's our way in and out, so there's our passenger seats at the back there. We've got a couple more right at the front facing backwards, then our 2 rover cockpits to drive this thing around. Pulling away and looking up, this is our propeller to lift us off the ground in a decorative way. We've got a sand block underneath of our rotor, and got our neon tubes in each direction, a lovely steel block circular ring, then above there is a bunch of armoured panels to act as the blade on our propellers that will spin around at quite high speeds. If you were to look at it from the top, we can see that they're grey with a red tip on the end there, so you can clearly see where the danger zone is, and make sure you don't put your hands in there. Anyway, moving down just a little bit, got some great use of our letterbox with the 1 and the 6. Towards the back there, we've got some nice use of our wasteland spotlights. Then at the very back, that is all we can see. If we were to get a bit closer to the main body, there we are. And while we're here, we might as well drop down and come underneath it. So we see our propellers on both sides. We see how we're clamped down onto the ground. If we were to get a bit closer, we can see 2 spotlights to light up the darkness. And at the very front there is our camera. Turning around and coming up and above to look down at it, there is our cockpit where we can see a battery to give it a bit of power. Looking all the way down, there we are. We see our propellers on both sides. We see how they've been connected up via a hinge and a rotor. And there is the tail at the very back. And there we are. That's a very brief look around the outside of the Samson SA-2. And it looks bloody fantastic how it's all been set up. It's going to get even better if I grab hold of my character, come over to it, get into one of the seats, and I'll quickly show you the propellers before we go around the interior. Round into here, get into one of these seats. There we go. On the HUD, if I was to press number 6, we're going to get shot up into the air automatically. The propellers will fold slightly forwards, they'll start to spin around, and the exhaust block will start to shoot out some white smoke. Looking at it from the front, then pressing number 5, will now automatically come down to the ground, then come to a stop, and our exhaust block will turn off. Anyway, just coming out of that for the moment, back into my character, this is what we get on the inside. So looking up, we can see a light panel. Looking towards back, we've got an armory locker, we then got an access point down here to shove in some uranium into our reactors. There's our seats at the back for your passengers. We also have a programmable block which has Trudy on there, with a passenger seat on either side. If we look to the left hand side, there's a small cargo container to store a few bits and bobs like a gun and a couple bits of ammunition. Then towards the front there, if I can jam my character all the way through, can see our custom weapon controller for our camera at the front, and 2 of our rover cockpits. In first person view, that's all we can see, so looking down we can sort of see what's going on at the front there. And all the way around us, we do have a fantastic view. Bringing up the HUD, these are the controls we get, and wants me to turn on and off our atmospheric thrusters all the way around the ship. Number 2 is for our rocket launchers to fire them straight forwards. There we go. Number 3 is for our singular Gatling gun on the side. Number 4 is then for our exhaust block at the back to make it shoot out smoke or to turn it off. Number 5 is then to land on the ground automatically. Number 6 is what you just saw where you take off from the ground. Number 7 to take over our custom weapon controller, which is the camera at the front. We can move it up, that's as far as we can go up, and move it down, that's as far as we can go down. Coming out of that and pressing number 8, that's going to be for our camera, which is sitting on our rotor, controlled by the custom weapon controller, so you don't have to go into there and lose control of the vehicle. You now just see where the camera has been set up. Then last but not least is going to be number 9, which is going to be to angle our propellers and of course to turn them on. So there we are, then now move forwards, we're now ready to go. Our exhaust blocks have turned on. We can press it once again, go back to its standby mode, turn off, and turn off our exhaust block. And there we go. That's that for the controls. So now what we can do is fly this thing around, and we'll see how it handles. So moving forwards, this is what we get. We're not the fastest thing in the world, but we don't have to be with this type of ship. We're mainly a drop ship to just go and move people from one place to another, and we're only going to be suited for light combat. Yes, so going up to maximum speed if I can without going towards that tree. There we are. That is the speed we get while slowing down. So once again, it's not the fastest thing in the world, but it should be fine if you're careful while flying. Moving left. And moving right, we've got some okay speed with that. That's actually pretty responsive compared to forwards and backwards. Moving up. And then moving down is going to be helped by gravity. And yes, it's going to be the fastest thing out of everything. And I think the last thing to do is put on my signals, fly this thing around for a bit, see if any space pirates spawn. If not, it's going to be slammed into a mountainside. So unfortunately, the space pirates have not spawned. So the last thing to do for this poor little ship is to slam it into the mountainside. And that'll be that. I was kind of hoping that lag spike was something spawning in, but it doesn't look like it. But yes, it's a fantastic little ship and a fantastic recreation of the ship from Avatar. There'll be a link to it in the description below if you do wish to download it and play around it yourself. Highly recommend you do. And I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.